very dear to my heart. The decisions we make today to improve the education system for our young Native people are decisions about how we envision the future of our communities. That vision of our future must be grounded in our language, tradition, and culture. To cut those roots is to harm the Native peoples. Education is what keeps our roots alive, and it is the way that we honor the knowledge and wisdom of our ancestors. The Native Class Bill presents a new comprehensive vision of Native education, one that is grounded in culture, language, and local community control.
We look forward to working with this committee and the Health Committee in a bipartisan manner to address these issues. Our 5 goals for ESEA reauthorization include preparing college and career-ready students by raising standards, improving assessments, ensuring the needs of diverse learners are met, raising the bar, and rewarding excellence through incentives such as Race to the Top, promoting innovative programs which support, recognize, and reward local innovation.
The BIA is committed to working with the committee on Senate Bill 1262 and addressing the educational needs of American Indians and Alaska Native students, especially in our BIA schools. Education in the United States is primarily a state and local responsibility. However, tribal communities have not been afforded appropriate control over education in their own communities in the past. Outside interests have historically imposed their will on tribal communities and defined the futures of Indian communities through their children. Reauthorization of ESEA represents a unique opportunity for all of us to ensure that the Act works for American Indian and Alaska Native communities. The reauthorized ESE can support the self-determination of Indian tribes and create an educational system that values tribal cultures and languages and also ensures accountability for student performance and achievement.
S-1262 is very important. The revisions that are going to happen towards education laws, federal education laws that support the experience of Native American children are very important to us, so we appreciate what you're doing. The funding is clearly deficient and fails to provide our tribe with the minimum resources we need to confront the very real challenges of massively marginalized students in the public school system. We applied the bill language that would give public schools greater flexibility in designing programs to meet the needs of their Indian students, the requirement for a local educational agency, LEA, to enter into a cooperative agreement with the tribe to assist with the planning and operation of the program, and the requirement for the LEA to develop programs in consultation with a committee comprised of Indian parents and teachers. You said is disappointed that S-1262 does not include a key recommendation of tribal organization team that called for creation of centers for innovation and tribally directed education. The purpose of this proposal is to assist tribes with capacity building to enable them to effectively exercise their rights and authority to direct delivery of educational services to Indian children. We urge the committee to amend S-1262 to include this proposal.
Indian nations have the largest stake in improving the education of their citizens. The following recommendations will accomplish this goal. Strengthening tribal government role in education. Tribes are overwhelmingly supportive of local control over education, and they are well positioned to address the educational needs of our children. It is critically important that our native language programs are provided long-term sustainable funding.
The many stakeholders who collaborated on this bill knew this, and they knew that a new approach was called for, one that firmly recognizes and supports the role of tribal governments as sovereigns in addressing these problems. Are tribes ready for this? Yes, they are ready, and they have the capacity to be leading education agencies. The federal government provides billions of dollars annually to LEAs and SEAs, but hardly any funding to TEDs and tribal governments for education. The enormous missed opportunity to invest in TEAs and tribes for the sake of Native students must be seized. S-1262 does this. It aligns federal law with what is already happening and with what needs to happen. It carefully allocates new funding and authorizations between high-capacity TEAs and developing capacity TEAs. Tribes are very excited about this project because it is a monumental step in achieving tribal sovereignty in education.